Hey, welcome back. We're live here in the wonderful Highline Community College. Another Dueling Excel podcast. This is our episode 115. I'm Bill Jelen from Mr. Excel, joined here by
Excel is fun.
Mike Girvin. All right, so here, this was a strange one sent in by YouTube. They want to do like employee review, but they don't want any of the employees to see any of the other employees' names, but they want to see their values. So the first thing they want to do is kind of at the top of the screen, and I'm going to hide this stuff later, is we're going to do some data validation to allow us to choose a social security number or a code, whatever this is. This code over here looks like social security numbers, but maybe it's not.
Or it's like employee ID.
Employee ID, so they're going to be able to choose that. And then we're going to want to chart the data down here, but only show the label for the employee that we've chosen. All right, so let's see. I just need to count how many we have here, and I guess I can subtract 12 minus 1 to tell that there are 11. So we'll copy that down 11 times.
You did that without Excel?
Without Excel, yeah. I was going to do it in Excel. I said, no, wait. I really think I could do 12 minus 1. You know, if it had started in row 7 or something like that, I might have had to do the one of my tricks for counting data. All right, so over here, this is where the label is going to be. This is our value. This is our label. So I'm going to say equal if this ID number is equal to the ID number that they chose, F4, then I want the corresponding name from column B, but I'm not going to F4 the A2 or the B2. Those are going to be relatives, that way they can move down, and then otherwise I want quote, quote, nothing. All right, so now I have that in. The fill handle will look to the right if there's nothing to the left. So there we go. That chooses fill, and then we'll choose someone else. GG, rock and roll. I'm going to call this score or something like that. I don't know why I'm going to do that. All right. Did they say what kind of a chart they want? Plot all numbers on a chart.
Like a column.
You know what? I don't know what kind of chart to use. I'm going to use insert recommended charts.
Oh, that is awesome.
All right. They say, oh, it can be a pie chart. No. It can be a bar chart. No. I'm going to go with a column chart. All right. There we go. I like it. And let's do a little magic here with the cell style. See if we can find an interesting one. I love this in Excel 2013.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Score 41. What the heck is that title? What's going on with that title? That is really, really evil. The recommended charts. Click delete. Who the heck created those recommended charts? We're obviously confusing Excel. Because of the blank cell? No. It should love the blank cell. That's so funny. I'm going to have to go back and watch that video. They can't even recommend. All right. Well, all right. Column chart. There we go. Score. That's funny. All right. That's a really cool feature, if I can just remember what it was. All right, so we'll go with that one. I love the fact that we're getting all caps here, because this isn't in all caps. They're automatically capitalizing that.
Why are they doing that?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good feature, but it's really hard to find. Hey, it's Bill Jelen. I'm going to interrupt the Dueling podcast here. It was so hard to find. I spent the next 3 minutes there, and I couldn't never find it. So here's how you make that be all caps. We choose the title. I'm going to right click on the border and go to font ... For some reason, this box offers things that all of the other boxes don't offer, including all caps and small caps. All right, so those are choose one or the other. All right, I don't know why it's not anywhere in the format chart title. You can go through all these icons, all these other things. You cannot get it, but in the font box, we can change that to all caps. There you go. All right, back to the duel. All right, so there we go. We have our chart. They don't want to see all this data up here, so I'm just going to select everything, Alt-O-R-H, format row hide. And now when we choose a new ID, the name will reflect only the person we've chosen. They get to see how they compare to everyone else, but they don't get to see everyone else's name. All right, Mike.
Cool. I love that. That formula, I think, is a little bit easier than the one I was thinking about. Let's see. I'm going to copy this data, paste it right here, Control C. I'm going to do data validation, Alt-DL, Tab, and then something like that. So we'll click OK so we can select this. Now, I'm actually going to move this over here. I'm going to do a lookup. Just a straight VLOOKUP. And look the name up in a separate cell right here. So VLOOKUP, I'm going to look up that, comma, within that, F4, I actually didn't need to lock it. In the second column, comma, 0, exact match. All right, so I'm going to have that there. Now I'm going to, let's see, highlight this. I think Mr. Excel said 11, right?
11. Yeah.
Now I'm going to use the screen tip because I'm not as smart as doing that math in my head. And I'm going to say equals this right here, and then Control Enter.
31.
So we got that. And now right here, I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to do a silly array for him. I'm going to say if anything in this range. Oh, you know, I didn't need to do that name right there. But anyway, if anything in that range right there, you know what? I don't need to lock it. When you do an array formula, I'm going to do an array formula that delivers multiple values simultaneously to multiple cells. You don't have to lock the cells because the same formula gets put into every cell when you do Control-Shift-Enter. But I'm going to say, hey, anything in there equal to this name right here. If that's true, then I want this name. Otherwise, I want to double quote. All right, and you ready? Control-Shift-Enter.
Oh, sweet.
All right, so now I have this right here. Alt F1, that's the default chart. And I'm going to put, let's see, data labels. And then get rid of these, delete. Get rid of this, delete. Even get rid of that, sales. Why is it sales? And so now I have this little chart right here. I think I can select a different number, and there it is. Tina got 33. Everyone else got different numbers, right? Who's this last one right here? There's Min, 10. All right, Min happens to have the min value.
That's so funny. All right. Well, there you go. Creating a chart that shows only the selected person's name. Well, thank everyone for stopping by. We'll see you next week for another Dueling Excel podcast from Mr. Excel.
And Excel is fun. Woohoo!